Hi, welcome to Free Spirit and welcome to a special spirit tip message that's an answer to the comments that have been coming up over and over again. But I wanted to do a quick video and put in the description box step by step where you can do it yourself. How to do tarot and oracle card readings more as a real conversation. I call it a real loving conversation. So I find it almost fitting that I'm using this new card about love here, all about the heart, and it's from the new Energy and Spirit Oracle that I just did a close-up review on. But I'm not at my usual place, but I love talking about things and sharing tips, and so when this came up I immediately wanted to do a video. I did it in the past where I actually demonstrated how to do it with cards, and you can actually look at any reading I've ever done on the channel that I've always used a free-form spread. I call it free-form, I kind of made that up. You can call it whatever you want, but it's where I don't use a particular spread. So it really feels like a real loving conversation that I'm having, and it's just something I always was guided to do. So you can use whatever spread you want. So I'm not discounting suggested spreads that authors have given you in books, or if you're used to doing a certain spread and it works for you, that's great. I'm just saying what I've always used was a free form kind of spread. All of my readings, if you ever want to see what that looks like, that's how I've done it. And it's always, to me, like a real loving conversation. So more than just reading the cards or trying to interpret a card, I just feel it's a real loving conversation. So I always approached my readings in that way, a real loving conversation. And I do a free form spread where there is no spread. So what is a spread, if you're new to spreads, is when it's literally cards lined up 1, 2, 3 in a particular arrangement, a particular pattern, and then you read accordingly to where that card is placed. So you might have heard of various spreads that people use, past, present, future, or oh my god, why am I drawing a blank on the most, the Celtic Cross, all these different spreads. I did start out when I was very young, trying those out, but from here on out I never did that. I always do free form. So doing suggested spreads, that's fine. I have nothing against them. This is if you want to experiment with doing a free form spread, how I do it. What does that even mean? If you're familiar with my channel at all, you see that that's how I do all my readings, and it's actually how I always have to get the most out of them. Literally. And this way it always feels more like a real loving conversation to me. So I use the term freeform. You can call it whatever you like and try it out too. So there are 7 points. I blocked it all out. 7 points so I don't go off on a tangent, and I'll put it in the description box what to do and how to do it when you do a freeform spread. Okay, number 1, you have a particular question. So are you going to be doing a weekly reading, a monthly reading, or you just want to know, what would you like me to know right now type of reading? So know what you're seeking answers on. So be really clear on that, right? In your heart. So fitting, this card is about the heart here. Okay, in your heart, know what you're asking. Number 2, feel guided to particular decks. Now, look at your decks and what feels loaded with some possible answers for you. So definitely feel free to look at your decks, and they will catch your eye. They will resonate with you in a certain way, like this has potential answers for you. So pick up those decks. Number 3, feel free to choose every deck that you feel will have answers. Okay, feel free to choose every deck that you feel will have answers for you. Number 4, lay out the decks in order of how you want the conversation to go. So very often you see in my readings, I have an order, like I can see, it's almost like when you begin a call, like the touch points that you want to touch on, like which order do you want the conversation to flow in. So line them up, take them out of their boxes, get the cards ready so you're ready to go with the conversation. It stays in flow. So number 5, one by one, start using the decks. One by one. Shuffle the cards, see what falls out as you shuffle, and read the messages. Number 6, move on to the next deck. It will feel as the conversation is flowing and building. And number 7, keep using the cards until you feel the conversation is truly over and you got it all. So if you feel you didn't get it, you can clarify, pull another card. Do you gravitate to one of the decks that you don't have to stay fixed? If you feel guided to the same deck for additional messages, or guided back to another deck to clarify or get additional messages, do so. So it's never over until you feel it's over, and it's almost like the conversation is complete. Like it's it's done. You've gotten all that you needed. So definitely feel like it's a conversation, because then if you don't have it and you're not sure, you can always pull additional cards until you feel you have. So this is a very real way of how I've always used tarot and oracle card readings, more as a real loving conversation, using free-form spreads. So that is personally how I do it. So it does feel like more like a real conversation. Use your tarot and oracle cards however way it works best for you, and all the ways that give you the most love, support, backing. How you feel the most connected all the way through. That's just how I always felt, very connected all the way through. So very much like I say, you're multitasking. It's like, yes, you're shuffling the cards, you're reading the cards, but you're also tapped in. So this way it just seemed very much in the flow and not so fixed. And just way in life, like you're always open. It's not so fixed. It's more free form. So I'm passing this along. I know I've done this and I've done demonstrations, and you can look at any reading I've ever done also. That's all free form. But I'm passing this along in this very short video, like step by step, because it came up in the comments exactly how I do it. I want to pass this along because this has always been the way that I've gotten the most love, the most support the whole time, and actually also felt the most connected all the way through. It feels that you're not just reading and interpreting the cards, but you're in a real conversation. And so I want to leave you with that, enjoy your most loving conversations. And that's how I really view readings, tarot and oracle, and you can use them together. You can do all oracle decks. You can mix your tarot and oracle together, whatever you feel guided to, and just enjoy it. I really consider them your most loving conversations. So I wanted to leave this with you, and take care. Bye-bye.